All right, welcome back to the channel. We've got actually a little bit of an exciting little driver refit, reassessment.
A reassessment is a good way to put it.
Yeah. You've worked hard on your swing. I've seen your delivery change significantly. And we fit you for that driver summer? Spring?
Yeah, probably early summer, probably when we were just coming out of lockdown.
You've had the full season.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, you were probably 5 to 7 up on your driver before?
Very into out, very up,
yeah,
very unstable. So I was very thankful for what the sim offered me at that time.
Was the best for you.
It was amazing.
And you had it at times lofted all the way down. I know you had it down at like 7.5 before. Yeah. You've got the tour head in there.
Yeah.
The toe weight was kind of your best friend at times.
It really was.
Now I'm watching you hit 1-2 degrees up. Yeah. I'm watching your path at times be 0 or maybe even 1. On the other side. So that difference in your spin loft is probably the biggest thing you're noticing. I think your strike pattern is probably moving around, and the flight on that is not, it's just not quite what you remember it being.
It's a real adjustment for me right now, because the strike point being the big thing that's kind of influencing the launch and spin variables. I don't think the ball speed's really different from what I've been seeing it. Kind of mid 160s is fine, and have that little Tyler McGee gear if I really want it on a certain hole. But like, I feel like the numbers are kind of in a good spot. But it's just the delivery is so different. I kind of almost have to, like, I'm here today to recalibrate my driver based on what is going on, because it's different. It's just different.
And I think the reality is this may not be a totally new driver. It just may be a different setup to that head. Maybe different heel and toe weight, maybe different hosel setting. But I think you've gotten so used to being a little bit up and extra loft.
Yeah.
You've always turned everything down. What I'm watching you do today is you're kind of looking at the numbers going, it's not quite it. And I'm watching you, and you're about to start trying to get back that way to make this driver work.
I don't want to do that.
And as soon as I saw you, I was like, stop. Like, don't do that. Because your swing to me looks way better. You're in a great spot. I would rather now fit the driver to this golf swing that is working quite well.
For sure. And one of the things that really has helped my iron game this year is to get steeper and neutralize the path to stabilize the face, ultimately. And I really want that for my driver as well. And ultimately, they're two different tasks. The ball on the ground versus the ball in the air, they are two different tasks. But if I can give myself a little bit more of that face stability, I think driver can become a real kind of go-to weapon. And I'm not trying to be the longest. I would like my speed to give me that distance. I don't want it to come through the delivery. I'm not trying to chase the 5-6 degree up with 14 degrees of delivered loft that gets the ball launching and just knuckling. I'm not looking for that.
Good. Love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get it through, 168 ball speed maybe.
If I can get a flat 10, 11 degree launch at 2100 spin, is exactly what I would want. Apex and probably below an optimal window.
95 feet or something?
In what I believe to be a more functional window.
Perfect. So we're going to baseline yours based on the golf swing you're making now.
Yeah.
Whatever happens. You just won't adjust to it. Just swing it, and we'll adjust from there.
Let's do that.
Okay. Good swing. That actually might be a perfect example right out of the gate. I have a feeling. Yeah, so when I look at that, it's a perfect example. 0 path, under 2 degrees up, perfect strike.
Yeah.
Little under 10 launch and 1800 spin. I look at that flight and I go, if you're on the range, even without a launch monitor, you're going to start trying to hit up on that.
Sure.
Because it's flying very flat. It's flying, what do you think, 80 feet? 66 feet.
66.
So you're seeing that on the range, and ball flight's better than anyone. You're going, that's a little low. I got to hit up on that more.
Definitely.
And now your path probably gets end out. You start hitting up on 6 degrees.
Yeah.
When really what I'm looking at is probably a little bit more loft with the appropriate spin profile gets you 11.5 launch and 2200 spin.
Well, absolutely.
Versus you messing, because honestly, like, the golf swing is. If I had told you a year ago you'd be here, you'd be like, that would be great.
Yeah.
I would love that.
I know. I've never been very, very neutral with a driver.
This is completely different and in a good way. Like, look at your efficiency and everything. Like, you're hitting it great. I think it's just, the reality is the driver doesn't fit you anymore.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
Yeah, it's just a little bit flat. 66 feet is
It's too low, yeah.
it's just a bit too low, and 280 on the carry is decent, but delivered loft 11.8 is too low. So we got to get that back up a little bit.
So what I think would be cool would be to start by seeing what we can do with this head. We're definitely not, you're not adverse to trying other heads.
No.
I wouldn't mind seeing what adding some loft to that does for you to begin with.
Yeah.
It is going to change the face angle, so it may not be the best result, but why don't we start there?
Definitely.
Do you like open at address? Like, do you like to see the face sit a bit open?
Yeah, I do. The interesting thing with the driver this year is, though, even when I have that set on what is now 3 degrees open,
Yes.
it doesn't really look open to me.
No.
I just think it looks pretty square, which I
Gotcha.
love. I love a driver that sits square to. I think if I was to give 10 drivers, it would be square to 1 degree open.
Gotcha.
I would just go, yeah, I love that.
Okay, I got an idea.
Okay.
All right, so just based on honestly, the conversation about the face, I think it made more sense to go 10.5 head set open the way you had it before. Because if I took your 9 to give you the loft, it's going to sit shut. I don't think you're going to care for that personally.
No.
Gives you the appearance you like.
Let's try that, and I think because I'm sure there's somewhere in there's a left miss, and everyone who watches knows the channel well enough knows that a little bit of that can be in there. So if we have it open, it does offer protection against that as well.
No one at your level wants to hit the ball left.
I just hate seeing it go left.
It's no good.
Yeah, it's a struggle.
All right, so we're ready. This is 10.5 set all the way open. That sounded good.
That's the launch up, but the spin staying down.
Oh, yes. Okay. See what we achieved with that.
10 more in the fly. 11 more in the fly.
That's no joke, is it?
It is.
Interesting. See, to me, there's an interesting thing here that we'll see if it continues, but I have a feeling that when you have a bit more loft and you don't feel like you have to lift the ball up, I actually think you're going to, I think you're going to swing a bit faster. See that couple miles an hour there?
Yeah.
That's a great swing. How'd that feel?
I got it low in the head, and that's probably where the miss is lying.
It's a good miss, though.
Yeah. Just below the last one.
I mean, if that's your low strike,
Yeah.
2,600 is not bad.
Was a little, certainly higher in the head.
I like that.
Yeah. I actually like to see that flight, like a little drifter to the right.
But not to mention it's like it's flying flat and fading. Like it's going quite a bit down right. See, I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Basically a
that's
dead
nice.
center hit, but you're starting to get some more launch on that.
My only thing is is just on the miss, am I going to do a bit of that with it? That's my only thing. Like, so I've hit 2 good ones and missed 2. Is there just like it just puts more premium on making a slightly better swing at it, that's all.
Yeah, I think that one was a little more your old motion. It just got a little more under it, a little more upwards, a little more I mean, the end out is not an issue at all. It's really just that strike. That looked nice.
That's definitely a bit more squeezy, but again, probably feels like that could be the miss with this driver.
Gotcha. So we're carrying a little excess spin at times.
Yeah.
That's a better strike too. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
That felt like a better swing.
I think let's table that one for a minute. I don't mind where that's going, but I wouldn't mind seeing if something a little different might work for you.
What do you think? So seeing that flight is kind of doing a little bit of that,
Yes.
why don't we lose the open? Because we're basically playing 9 degrees. Why don't we just go back to the old one at square and just lose the open face element, and that could just give us a better start line.
If you're happy with it, sure.
Because I'm not upset with like the kind of shape of it.
Okay,
but
so the open might be a factor you just don't need.
yeah,
Okay, let's go back to this.
yeah.
And maybe even
So the exact same concept without the open face.
maybe even sneak this slightly heel side. Just
Yeah.
like a shade
Would not
halfway.
be, because I'm not really striking it in the toe anymore the way I used to.
Not at all. I'm saying if you're going to miss, I think you're going to miss right there, and then you line that strike up with that.
Slightly different start line, which I quite liked.
Interesting. Well, I'd be kind of curious to see how you adjust to that now.
Yeah. Interesting.
So a little open on the face.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so.
Let's see if that's a better.
Didn't have the curve though, did it?
No. So to me, that was a slightly lower spin, less curving miss than what you had with the 10-5 set open. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
That's a great swing.
That one felt more square.
I love that.
What do you think about just going, so with this little, just a tickle to the left? I mean, I almost think we could just go 9 neutral, 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 weight, lie angle, face, and like this kind of little, almost two-way miss we've got could just all disappear if we just end up at just a neutral driver, because we've got the weight fractionally heel. We're encouraging a more upright toe angle. If we just nudge those back in a little bit.
Do you want to try one before the other? Why don't we do the weight first?
The weight?
Just to isolate. Just because to me, it looked like you reacted quite well to the upright. But maybe the toe weight, exactly. Because if you look at your, I mean, it's a slight miss, but you're a couple millimeters toe.
Couple, yeah.
So that would regulate the face angle a bit plus the strike.
Yeah.
Let's try that. It sounded very solid. Interesting.
Probably a very similar strike point to those last ones. Just a shade on the low
Just
side.
a little, I mean, yeah, it is definitely managing it better.
It's managing it better, isn't it?
Yeah. Ooh.
That was just higher in the head, Matty,
Yeah.
so the launch came up, spin came down.
But part of it, when we're talking about fitting a driver you're going to play, is we got to see a few different strike patterns.
Yeah.
What happens if you strike it? I mean, it wasn't even.
Yeah, not too much.
It was just fractionally in the toe, but if that's a toe strike that's still above 2100, good launch, tons of ball speed.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good stuff going on there.
Yeah.
And you made a good swing. I think part of it is like when you see a flight like that you like, it was also the swing you want to make. So I think this is we're kind of in the right direction. It's really nice. Ooh. Close to ideal?
Yeah, not far away at all.
In terms of,
I like that. I mean, do you know what it feels? It feels very low effort. Like I don't really feel like I'm swinging very hard at these at all.
no, you don't look like it. Well, I think the obvious kind of sign of that is efficiency is super high.
Yeah.
Your strike point, call that center.
Yeah.
13 launch, 2200 spin. And it's whatever it is, only 11 yards right of target, which essentially is your middle because you're going to aim slightly down the left center of the fairway and try to fade it back a bit.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
Yeah, I'm pretty comfortable doing that with the driver now, as long as I'm neutral enough. Because for me, when I used to do that before, it was such a danger play.
Yes.
Because I would aim left, knowing that I was kind of coming at it like there, and it was so susceptible to the block and the hook.
This is just a 2-yard pull fade that you just hit.
Yeah.
If you want to call it even that.
Yeah. No, that would overachieve for me in terms of making the right swing and getting the right launch conditions.
Because I think part of this was just you needed a little session to reassess what you needed.
No, absolutely. And I'm happy with the shaft. And I think it's a lesson for a lot of people is don't give up on the driver you've got. You know, even if it's a little tweak to it, maybe there's a better setting. Just because I'm swinging it different doesn't mean the driver is no longer the right one or one that would work.
Because it's an adjustable driver in the sliding weight and the hosel, you had options, and we adjusted both. But I mean, I had other stuff sitting here waiting.
I know.
And that's why I asked you, I'm like, okay, well, if I start doing this, is it just for fun, or is there a real purpose? Because the reality is you love that driver, you're comfortable with it.
There's nothing that I don't like about it. There's just nothing. I just knew that I had changed a little bit.
Yeah.
And I really wasn't in a great space playing it open and flighting it at 66 feet like that first one was at.
Good. Well, I think it's a perfect example of how if your swing is evolving a bit and it's for the better, let's talk about that in a positive light. Like you're not here to band-aid something that's not working. You've made huge improvements. Everyone can see that to delivery,
Yeah.
you want the driver to match that so that you're not getting back into old habits.
Definitely. It's the last thing, because I've fought it for years and
Mm-hmm.
years, and I really did want to get away from it. And when you start to make progress, just not being lured back into
Yes.
like the allure of high launch, low spin.
I know.
When you need to do something disruptive to do it.
You do.
I just
And the
don't
reality
wanna do
is,
that.
to be honest, you do have high launch, low spin.
Yeah.
You were 13,
Yeah,
22.
absolutely. Little tweak, strike point and static loft. Those were the two key things that really brought that back to life.
Well, let's keep an eye on it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's over the winter, you're going to be training in many different ways. If we come back in the spring and you're a little faster and that
Yeah.
generates different spin, maybe we reassess at that point.
Yep,
But
yep.
there'll be new drivers out at that point, and you'll be due for a spring fit.
100%.
Yeah.
Cool.
Awesome.
I'll
Okay.
tune up.
That was good. All right, guys. Thanks for watching that. I mean, that was fun just to look at your driver after a while. It's probably been one of your favorite clubs, but it just proves that there's always something to tweak if you've
know.
been working on your golf swing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Best driver. Honestly, best driver I've
That
ever
you've
had.
had. Yeah.
Yeah.
You've said that a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad it's not. I didn't think you wanted to leave the bag, so I'm sure
Honestly,
you're happy.
I'll stick it. I'll probably do a new grip and it'll feel like a new club, and
Yeah.
we'll be ready to go again.
Great point.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that was fun. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next time.